Greetings, YouTube. I wanted to start off this video by talking about why 2019, despite all the recent trash MCOC offers, has still been the best, most enjoyable year for my gameplay in Marvel Contest of Champions. There's 3 reasons why 2019 has been the best year ever for me. The first is that I finally had the guts to find an alliance that did not do Alliance War. I am such a hater of Alliance War, and it's mainly because I just, 1, choke under pressure like a dog, and 2, even when I would do good, I would just have such bad anxiety because I hate letting people down. I have always hated disappointing people, and knowing that there was all this pressure on me, even if my alliance didn't really care, I put the pressure on myself to never want to die, to always come through, to always be the boss killer, or whatever they needed me to be. And not having to worry about Alliance War anymore has made this game a million times better. And if you are watching this and you're like, man, that sounds like such a great life, I say find an alliance that doesn't do Alliance War, or if you love your alliance you're in, try to convince them to go down to 2 battle groups instead of 3, or even what my current alliance does, which is 1 battle group out of 3, because maybe 10 out of 30 people want to do Alliance War, get those rewards, but I will never go back. I would rather be alliance free than go back to Alliance War. I also have just forgotten what it's like, in the best possible way, to have my champions frozen on defense or my attackers frozen on offense while still trying to figure out how the heck am I going to, for instance, in this past month's events that's wrapping up, like get my best attackers to take down the epic difficulty of the side quest, They might be in Alliance War. So I'm just going to have to wait. That's going to be inconvenient. So I don't miss Alliance War at all. I am so thankful for never doing it again. Of course, the latest hunt to have been achieved in terms of success rates, as I'm still hunting, will probably be hunting the missing limb for a long time, was, you guessed it, Mr. Red Omega himself, Omega Red. And once I got that guy, used my Awakening Gem on him, took him to Sig 200, he's my favorite champion in the game in terms of fun. He's all the cheat code you thought and then some. So many fights that I hated for so long, even the newer fights like Korg or, say, Havoc. Maybe you hate fighting somebody as annoying as MODOK, or even I've had pretty good success against Mordo. I just love Omega Red. But the main reason why Omega Red is so good is because I spent so many, we're talking like over, 8,000 units over the past several years, and then I finally completed it this year in 2019 on a full mastery tree setup, meaning Glass Cannon 3 out of 3. Even though some people say that's not really the same thing as Suicide Masters compared to the other 2, I get that, but in my book it definitely helps. But maxing out Liquid Courage and Double Edge is what the traditional must-have for a full Suicide Mastery setup if you're confused on that. And it takes so many cores, and this was completed before even the monthly subscription service that gives you a slight reduction in mastery costs for 1 mastery core of each per couple weeks. So, here's the deal though. There's a mastery that I pretty much was convinced was bugged, because for a long time, if the special 3 did not knock out the opponent, you take recoil damage. And then all of a sudden, you didn't take recoil damage. And I asked my dungeon buddy, Miss Katie Candy, because I had one of those moments, and this happens at least once a week, conservatively. I just sound like a huge idiot on stream. I make a huge, dumb mistake. Everything from worrying about fighting Abomination with Omega Red because he isn't poison immune, even though of course he is. I use him every day. To thinking that my Ghost Rider with X amount of judgments just somehow had the power to bypass recoil damage on a special 3. And I even said that to Katie Candy during a live stream, and she just laughed, and I'm sure she thought it man, I thought this guy was smart. Doesn't he teach college classes? Who would hire him? Right? I mean, I would have probably thought that if I was her. But the wording of recoil, I don't know when this was changed, but it is such a pro player move, and we've had so many reasons to really be down on Kabam. From terrible offers to alliances in the past 24 hours of the time of recording this crumbling because you hear horror stories of some rando that's new to an alliance all of a sudden being accidentally moved to a leader and then kicking people out they don't like, or kicking everybody out and deleting the alliance, or at least moving some officers out and moving some new people in. It's just, it's chaos. It's pure chaos. So we need a win. We need a good, feel-good story. And Recoil now says your champion's increased attack during special attacks by 30%, but they sacrifice 5% health for each activation of a special attack 1 and 2, but notice it doesn't say 3. So what I was convinced was a bug, and what other people told me was a bug. I mean, it wasn't just me, right, who thought this, at least I don't think. Now it's written into the code of Recoil to have it be a permanent safety net for those of you who run Suicide Masteries and just choose to do special 3s. As long as they don't reword the wording back to what it was or to change it again, and you just spam special 3s, you'll be able to survive a fight without worrying about recoil damage. Now, obviously, that's going to be a lot more skill and patience, and maybe you can do that easier if you have like a Mystic champion and you're running 3 at least, maybe 4 or 5, ideally, of Mystic Dispersion. But otherwise, it's just nice to know that that's the wording of Recoil now. And maybe it's been like this for a while, but I've been talking to some subscribers behind the scenes, and they said, "Prof, did you notice this?" And I was like, "No, I did not." And so I wanted to make a video because maybe, just maybe, you noticed it and it's old news to you. And if so, sorry for wasting your time. But if you're like me and you didn't know that this wording had increased to help the player, now you know. And that's kind of the point of my channel. So between ditching Alliance War, getting Omega Red, Awaken, Sig 200, and then going full Suicides with the added bonus of Recoil not costing anything ever for any champion in Special 3, I'm feeling good about the game. Now, I have trust issues because every time I start to feel good, I get betrayed, so I should just not expect anything. But for the moment, we're going to celebrate this win. Kabam, thank you for making the wording of this mastery permanent, and I'm going to go ahead and say thanks for watching and supporting my Marvel Contest of Champions YouTube channel. Have a great day.